Alright, we've wrapped up day 1 of Modern Horizons 3 spoilers, and I wanted to talk about what's come out so far in a short little PowerPoint. First up, obviously, Commander Horizons allegations. There's Commander precons, no one's happy about it. They spent a lot of time talking about it today because it's like a product release docket more than anything. Hopefully the set is mostly in line with what Modern needs than what Commander needs, but we'll have to wait and see. The main features of today's spoilers were the 5-color Devoid Eldrazi, the energy cards, and the flip Planeswalkers. The transforming Planeswalkers first up are kind of interesting even if they're not crazy strong. They all are monocolor creatures with pretty low cheap stats that then transform into a 2-color Planeswalker. They also have an ability that cares about the color that they add onto themselves. So like Ajani is white, then turns red-white, and has an ability that cares about controlling a red permanent. Of these, I think that Ral Monsoon Mage is going to see the most play and experimentation because it's a Goblin Electromancer. I'm not a fan of it, personally. I think that an Electromancer that taxes you until it stops being a creature is not great. You kind of want it to be a creature because it can block in bad matchups. It being a Planeswalker means that if you plus it, then you don't get the other utility it offers. And if you do take it up on that utility, you lose a Goblin Electromancer for a turn. It's trying to do too many things, I think, personally. Next up, the Eldrazi are back. We've got the 3 Titans in new forms again. Kozilek and Ulamog are both really, really strong. Thief of Existence is an out to Teferi that's really good because it's a cast trigger on a creature. And Kozilek's Unsealing is going to probably see play as like a weird alternative to Up the Beanstalk. Energy cards are back, and this is the archetype that I think is going to be the most accused of like commanderism. All of the cards they've shown so far feel like they're either gimmicky reach rains of like reserved list cards or like banned cards, or they kind of rely on you being able to spend a lot of energy in a single turn, like 7 energy, 4 energy, the kind of things that like you're not generating in single turns like you would be in standard. There's more free spells. These times the condition on the free spells is sacrificing a non-token creature of their color, but they're still free. Among these, Flare of Cultivation is probably going to be the expensive one for like commander purposes. I think Flare of Denial is not very good, but I might be wrong on that. I just think that like most of the time in Modern you're sacrificing a creature to stop a spell. Merfolk can already do that, and decks other than that, it's like you're sacking a creature to stop a kill spell most of the time. There might be matchups where it matters, but I don't think this is like a 4 of main board the way that cards like Force of Negation often are. Then we've got the new to Modern cards. These are cards from sets that were not Modern legal being printed into the format. Some of these are things like Priest of Titania, the entire cycle of Medallions, Kappa Cannoneer, and Meltdown are on the list, and also some commanders like Crick, Son of Yawgmoth. Some of these are really interesting, some of these are kind of not. I don't think Priest of Titania is going to be the thing that make or breaks elves in Modern, for example, but we'll talk about some of these other ones a little later. Eladamri Corvik-Doll. I'm not going to get it wrong like the guys in the stream did. I think this guy is really, really cool. He's pretty much exactly what Elves as a deck wants. He is a Realm Walker and an Elven Chorus that also has a Pauper effect and no type restrictions. So what this means is you can play your Vizier of Remedies off the top of your deck. You can cheat it into play without running into counter magic. I don't think that he is going to single-handedly bring Elves to the forefront of the format, but I think he is like a perfect upgrade to Realm Walker for these sorts of decks. Next up is Crick and the Medallions. So Crick, Son of Yawgmoth is a very, very popular combo commander. He goes off about 1 million different ways, and some of those ways are accessible in Modern, especially now with Jet Medallion. The Medallions are probably going to make some form of combo deck viable, and Crick plus a Jet Medallion enables several different forms of turn 4 win condition. Peer into the Abyss plus Orcish Bowmasters for 3 mana and 8 life, Aetherflux Reservoir and like Gravecrawler and Viscera Seer. Obviously that's like a storm kill. Very, very strong. Don't know if it'll see play in Modern, but it is a line that exists, and someone smarter than me will probably figure it out. there's some goodies for Pauper in here. Raven Charm is a really, really strong, probably sideboard piece for white decks going forward. Things like the Battle Screech decks. Unholy Heat is a reprint, so it's not really new, but it's an alt treatment of a card, and I think it's nice. I like playing retro borders in Pauper. Basking, Broodscale, and Evolution Witness are both interesting because they go infinite with a card called Sadistic Glee? Yeah, Sadistic Glee. I'll put it up on the screen. Anyways, so these cards go infinite with Sadistic Glee, which allows you to put infinite 1/1 counters on things when creatures die. These might not break the format, but they are present now, which is something to consider going forward. So at the end of day one, you know, it can be hard to stay optimistic about this format for constructed purposes, especially when so much of the product part of this set is designed to appeal to Commander players specifically, but we haven't seen a lot of the set yet. I think that as we move forward, we're going to see the cards that are intended to either slide into existing spots in the format or do something like Murktide did and inject an entirely new deck into the format. I'm hopeful. It's just like, you know, it's bleak from a financial perspective. The set's going to be expensive, and there's not going to be a lot of reason to pull on it if the trend persists. But, you know, here's hoping.